Good morning, Geeks and Gamers. Welcome into another show where we talk about the Acolyte, because that's all we talk about here. And you know, we had Gary, and everybody's like, bring Gary back. Fuck that. We got somebody bigger than Gary. We'll get to that in just a minute. We got Ryan Kennel here. What's up, Ryan?
It's like the most fucked up intro ever. It's like,
fuck yeah, it is.
The one
fuck
thing
Gary.
about the Acolyte, move on, hype up a critical drinker intro, then realize you forgot to introduce me first and have to substitute me in before you get to drinker. Congratulations. Happy Pride Month.
Yes, Ryan's here, the most positive man. And then, of course, we have the critical drinker. What's up, drinker?
It is a pleasure to be here, man. It's been a while since we chatted, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. When's the last time you were actually on G&G? It's been a long time since obviously I've been on Open Bar a few times, but yeah, it's been a long time since we had you on G&G, so it's good to have you back on, man. So
yeah, I'm due my rotation through like FNT and G&G and stuff, so yeah, I'll get through them all. EFAP as well. I haven't done that in a while.
I still feel bad. I bailed on Open Bar last week because I'm sitting there like, this is during the Trump thing, and I texted you. I'm like, they canceled, they delayed the announcement. I think it's gonna happen today, and then right before Open Bar, they announced like jury's going home. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we're live, and it goes announcement imminent. I'm like, oh, shit. So yeah, I had to bounce, but I will be back on Open Bar very soon. So man.
Oh yeah, we'll get you back if you're available. That'd be good, man.
So since we're obviously everyone's excited about the Acolyte, this is going to be the first time women have ever been in Star Wars, first time we've ever had diversity in Star Wars, and we're going to totally get into all of that for sure. But yeah, I saw the interview that I think it was Valiant Renegade had with Alan Ng from Film Threat, and he said episode 3 is like, that's where it's all going to flip everything on its head.
I think he said like it's basically going to destroy whatever's left of Star Wars at that point.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see episode 3.
Honestly, I think I'm going to upload a video saying I am extremely excited for the Acolyte, and I'm going to talk about because of his comments. Because again, I haven't watched a lot of Disney Star Wars, and God, what's the last thing I watched? Kenobi, I think it's the last thing I watched. And before that, I didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. I can't remember when Mandalorian season 3 came. That came after Boba Fett, I believe, right, Ryan? So I'm excited for this series, so I can't wait. And it drops tonight. What time, Ryan? You're muted.
9 Eastern. It's about 10 hours from now. So.
10 hours from now. So I'm really, really excited. I can't wait.
I'm definitely going to get up in the middle of the night so I can watch it daytime.
And we still haven't seen any official, like, one of the interesting things, we haven't seen any, like, Rotten Tomatoes scores or whatever. You're just starting to see some articles come out from places. Because I think today was the review embargo, which is, God, if your review embargo's 9 hours before your fucking show comes out, seems like you got something to be worried about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one here from Rolling Stone says, The Acolyte, this Star Wars prequel series isn't a force to be reckoned with. Even a veteran Jedi Master would lose patience with the latest Disney Plus addition to the canon, which focuses on a pair of twins, revenge, and sleep. So, yeah.
Interestingly,
this is Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone may have felt they went too hard, or maybe there was just such a brutal mistake because, when you go, you can search it up. I can Google Rolling Stone's Acolyte. Hey, there it is. Came out about half an hour ago. But when I click on that, there it is. Acolyte review, Star Wars series isn't a force to be reckoned with. Oh, shit.
It's gone.
What happened?
Someone got a phone call from Disney.
Hey, Rolling Stone, you're supposed to shill for this. What are you doing?
That is fantastic.
I imagine it'll come up a little bit later, maybe retitled something else, or maybe there was just an actual fuck up in the article somewhere and they pulled it. Who knows? But not a great sign. Not a great sign.
And Danky just sent me the archive for that, so I might do a video on it a little bit later because this is fun. This is the most excited I've been for a Star Wars project in a long time. Maybe for all the wrong reasons, but I have no faith that this is going to be good. I don't think anyone really has any faith that this is going to be good with everything that we've seen, and now, of course, with Alan's comments saying that he thinks the backlash, I don't know if the backlash can be worse than The Last Jedi, considering Star Wars is in such a bad place overall. So I mean, there's not enough goodwill out there for there to be that much backlash anymore. But I can see what he's saying, because hell, I think Kenobi's worse than The Last Jedi. I thought Kenobi did far more damage to the Star Wars universe than even The Last Jedi did. I think that's the worst thing that we have seen from Star Wars to date. That's a good question for you, Drinker.
That's up against some pretty stiff competition,
Yes.
because you've also got the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, it's like the concentrated retardation of Kenobi is so impressive that I think it might actually beat out The Last Jedi. Yeah, like, because it's got so much ridiculous nonsense in it. And Obi-Wan Kenobi was like one of the few characters that hadn't yet been ruined, and so they found a way to do that. So well done, Lucasfilm. And I think the Acolyte was just one of those things that was always doomed to fail, because this is something that doesn't even have anything recognizable from the Star Wars canon in it. It's going to be set like 1,000 years or whatever before the events of A New Hope. And so it doesn't have any of the Skywalker stuff in it. It doesn't have any recognizable iconography or anything like that, which I think you could have done, right, if the brand was healthy. This would have been a logical way to move things forward, to branch out a little bit and move beyond the Skywalker saga, if you had done really well with rounding that out and finishing it up, and you had a healthy brand. You can't do it now, because the fan complete apathy towards Star Wars is so intense now that nothing like this that you put out is going to garner any real attention.
Well, and that's the thing I've said about Andor, which I saw the first couple of episodes of Andor, and I liked what I saw, but I just never went back to it. But everybody that's seen Andor seemed to think it was really good, but no one watched it because Star Wars was in such a bad place that even when you provided something that a lot of people enjoyed, it didn't have anything that connected people to the universe, really. I know it had, Cassian Andor in it. No one cared about that. He was the least important character in Rogue One. And so a healthy universe, that would have been a perfect thing to add. But because the universe wasn't healthy and no one really cared, generally speaking, a lot of people didn't watch Andor. But I mean, I don't know. But Ryan, you want to read some super chats first, and then we can move forward?
Yeah, sure. Kevin just super chatted for $50. Look, Ryan got an avatar. You happy now? That is actually Kevin the Minion. Kevin so the Minion. He's the tall minion. So
I don't recognize you, Kevin, without the orange K. I don't even know how to respond to you anymore.
That's Kevin now. He's not one of those lazy fucking losers that just has a fucking letter. Like when they sign up for their Google profile, they didn't upload an image, so it's just a fucking random letter in color. He's not one of those fucks anymore.
The Alphabet, what would we call them? Alphabet Alliance? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Alphabet Alliance and the Avatar Army, I think.
There we go.
We had battles in the chat like a year ago.
Man. So
kick me into Jimmy for a buck. Thank you.
Kevin sends a $200 super chat yesterday. Ryan bullies him, and this is the result now.
That'll teach you to be generous, Kevin.
He lost $150 on this now. He sent $200 yesterday. Today he only sends $50. Good job, Ryan.
Well, he sent $200 because he enjoyed the conversation between me and Gary. So I blame you for the $150 loss.
I saw you missed Alec Baldwin's finger 50, his bomb.
Well,
I heard you go, I'm not as attentive as Jeremy.
Exactly. I'm not. We were having a fucking conversation. We had like 4,500 fucking people watching. As opposed to every time I get into something to get ready to clip it, Jeremy's like, "Oh shit, there's fucking money. There's money. Fucking call it out. So, but yeah, I was like 40 minutes late on a $50 or a 50 gifted membership. John the Casual Artist for $5. How drunk were you, drinker, that you wake up next to gay Jeremy?
I've never been drunk enough for that.
Not that you remember.
I saw you both in Orlando.
Let's just say things happened in Orlando that I'm not proud of. Okay.
We were fucked up, man. There's a video of us out there that's pretty fucked up.
As a good friend, I didn't release it. I was like, they were both hammered as hell. Ryan, though, again, as drunk as Ryan was, he still knew to self-center himself instead of say a word that would get him in trouble on YouTube. I was like, how does he know that? It makes no sense.
Just spotted a camera and started censoring the F slur. Yeah,
absolutely. Look at there, Ryan. Look at there, Ryan.
Nice.
50 from Kevin. Okay, maybe the avatar change isn't as bad as I thought. I retract my previous statement.
That's all it is. We've got a couple other 50 bombs as well. Valkyria winner for 50 Aussie. Only Star Wars I love other than the old movies. KOTOR 1 and 2 and Star Wars The Old Republic MMO. Plus Drinker is the only one not gay here.
Not that you know.
Thank you, Valkyria. And then Dave Chandler. He's just a plain old purple D. But thank you, Dave, for $50. I'm with Jeremy. If Disney's going to wipe out any trace of goodwill for Star Wars once and for all, at least get it over with so we can point and laugh at their failure. It's the only enjoyment I get from this once loved story. Hail Drinker.
Hey, man.
It's true. I mean, it really is at that point. I mean, Drinker, what's the last Disney Star Wars thing you actually enjoyed in any capacity? Not overwhelmingly loved, you know what I mean? But like just had some level of like, that was somewhat enjoyable. Yeah,
it's going to be Andor, I think. As you said, like, I know you never got a chance to finish it, but it's actually a pretty well-written show. Good characterization. It's actually quite mature. It treats the Empire as a genuine threat, and it actually makes them quite intelligent antagonists, which is great, you know, after the fucking clown show that is the sequel trilogy. This actually makes them seem like a threat again. It's just a shame that nobody really bothered to watch it, you know, and I can understand why. It was based around a character that nobody particularly cared about, that we knew was going to die anyway. But that was probably the last good thing that they made. Probably the only thing good that they made. Maybe Rogue One as well was pretty okay.
Yeah, Rogue One's pretty mid and forgettable, except for the last 20 minutes. But it's interesting. Andor season 2. I'm wondering how it's going to go because they're attempting to do like a bunch of time skips because I think obviously Andor takes place over probably a couple month to a year time frame based on, you know, when he got locked up, all that different shit. Yeah. This one's supposed to take place over the next 4 years leading up to the movie. So it sounds like I'm going to do 3 episodes, skip a year, 3 episodes, skip a year, 3 episodes, skip a year, which, as we've seen in House of the Dragon, you can do time skips and you can do it well and you can convey all these things that happened and try to show how these characters may have changed over that time, but it's not easy. That's a tough thing to do, even for skilled writers.
It is, yeah. And like, I do have a bit of faith in the writing staff that they have for Andor. Like, if they keep the same people involved, they'll probably produce something quite good. Again, I just think it's not going to have any real impact. And it's definitely not going to change the overall perception of Star Wars as a brand. It's fucked.
Yeah, it is. And again, I think this is going to have far more impact on Star Wars negatively than Andor ever could have, or positively, or almost anything at this point. So again, that's the topic of the day, is the Acolyte, and we're all excited about it for different reasons here. Chad, I'm sure you're all excited. I've seen so many people say, and this is the level of Star Wars that we're at. They're like, I can't wait to watch Disparu's reviews, or I can't wait to watch Nerdrotic's reviews, or I can't wait to see Ryan rip it apart. They don't even care about the show. They don't even care because we all know what it's going to be. So Ryan, take it away.
Yeah, I think this is a show that, again, this was announced like 4 years ago. And so it's been in development a long time, but 4 years ago is when they came out. In the aftermath of Rise of Skywalker, like all the bad PR, all this stuff, they come out with a press release that says, coming from Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, we have a show. What is it about? Is it about, oh, this cool shit, that cool shit? No. Female focused and martial arts will be featured. That's all we knew about it. It's going to be female centric and that they're going to do martial arts in the thing. So it's like, okay, not sure really what to take away from that. And now, as we've gone through this 4 years, the more we've heard from Leslie Headland, the more we've heard from every single person that's attached to this, that's a cast member, anything, it just sounds abysmal, because it sounds like the focus of this was not to add some much needed lore in the Star Wars universe or to tell like this compelling story. It was to tell a story because this character is a Black woman, because this character is a lesbian, because of Leslie Headland's lesbian experiences. That's why we're getting this show. And most people are just interested in the characters themselves, not all this other ancillary bullshit. Now, of course, we're in Pride Month where that stuff is getting shoved in our faces constantly. But this show is by far the most despised thing we've ever seen before it came out. We had questions about a lot of other stuff. We've never seen this much backlash that we have for the Acolyte. First thing that was ever ratioed a Star Wars trailer. And it wasn't just a little bit, it was a lot. 700,000 dislikes to 200 likes. So I just don't think it's gonna. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be despised, and that some people in the mainstream media are gonna love it.
Well, we talked about this, Drinker, about how as bad as like things like The Last Jedi were and Rise of Skywalker and even like Mandalorian season 3, like none of them were ratioed. The trailers, none of them were even close to being ratioed before the series even came out. They actually have a very good like to dislike ratio for the most part on all of those projects. The Acolyte, I don't know what the main trailer's sitting at now, Ryan, how bad it was, but it was really bad. It was ugly.
Teaser trailer's about 700,000 dislikes to 200,000 likes.
That is bad. Brutal. That is brutal. And this comes in a time where the majority of people don't even have the dislike extension like we do. Most people don't even see the dislikes. And that's where you get motivated to dislike things or like things, because you can actually see the result of your dislike. So most people don't even see these things. Every time we talk about the dislike counter, people ask us like, how do you get that? Because most people don't know it's there, yet they're still downvoting these things to hell because they're not interested at all. So welcome to Disney Star Wars.
I think it's this show is a perfect storm of everything that people despise about modern Star Wars. It's one made by a woman who seems to be a feminist activist first, and an actual creative mind a distant second. The association with Harvey Weinstein is not favorable either. The fact that she cast her own fucking wife in it, like, yeah, of course she did. The fact that it's got nothing really to do with anything recognizably Star Wars. It's set in a completely different era. And it's based on that High Republic series that nobody fucking watched or read, sorry. So again, it's another offshoot of a failed attempt to branch out with this IP. And literally every time they talk about it, they can't help themselves. They have to bang on about how diverse and inclusive it is. Why? Why do you think anyone cares about that stuff? Why do you think Star Wars fans care about that stuff? Why don't you just talk about how it's an amazing story, how the characters are really interesting? They just can't help themselves. So it's the perfect distillation of everything that people just find so fucking exhausting and tiresome about modern Star Wars. Of course they were going to hate it. They're primed to hate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for those that have not seen it, and I don't know if we can pull that clip up, right? I don't know if you have it, and it's fine if you don't, but Alan from Film Threat was talking with Valiant Renegade, and basically I think when is the embargo up for him to talk about specifics?
I think they're going to talk about some stuff on Film Threat today. I think they're doing a live stream today later. I believe they're going to talk about it, but I don't know how specific they can get. But essentially what I've heard from both of the reactions of Alan and Chris, the first two episodes kind of cringe but a little bit meh. The third episode is when it goes completely off the rails. Now, we've heard rumors of them just completely changing the way that the Force is perceived, like completely and totally. We've heard rumors that these twins that are born, actually it's going to be like immaculate conception from the Force, kind of like Anakin, except this time it's going to be two lesbians are their mothers. Like literally, this is the type of shit we've heard. If you're wondering why 3 years ago the rumors were out that the Acolyte had hired an intimacy coordinator, maybe this is why. They needed help working out the scissoring on the set of the Acolyte. You'd think that with all the gay people that they hired for this, they'd be more than qualified, but apparently they needed help doing that. It does sound like as heavy as we thought they were going to go on identity politics and stuff like that, it sounds like there's a chance they went even further. Because as bad as Star Wars has gotten, it's not to the level of like Doctor Who or Star Trek, like, and how far they've fallen and how just on the nose everything they talk about in these shows is. This might finally be that nail in the coffin for Star Wars. It might be this show.
I cannot wait. I'm excited. Yes, I'm going to watch this show. And I'm actually probably going to do So you got the first 2 episodes drop tonight, right? And then after that, you got 8 episodes in total.
Yep. So the next 6 weeks or whatever.
And I heard you and Gary talking about this yesterday. So this show has the same, virtually the same budget as House of the Dragon. Yet House of the Dragon had hour-long episodes, and how many episodes total was it? 10?
So the first season of House of the Dragon cost $200 million. The Acolyte reportedly costs $180 million. I expect that number to actually be higher when they finally file the taxes for it. But yeah, those are for 30-minute episodes. House of the Dragon, hour-long episodes, 10 of them, 10 hours of content versus The Acolyte, which if we're lucky is going to end up being 4 hours.
Absolutely.
And the way House of the Dragon looks fucking phenomenal too. That's the thing. Like House of the Dragon looks amazing.
Yeah.
The production value, even if you don't like the show, the production value and the CGI for all the dragons is pretty fucking phenomenal for what they're working with and how much, like for 10 hours of that level of content. And The Acolyte's spending the same amount of money.
Well, if you remember when we did the reaction to the I think the first trailer for The Acolyte, I said like, hey, if anything, like outside of the other stuff that gets me clipped out and gets me called all these names on Twitter, but I did say in the video, like from a production standpoint, it does look like they put money into it. So it does look good. That's the one thing I could say and that's the one thing you can say that was good about The Last Jedi is that it did look good. It had good cinematography. It looked really pretty. And I think that they've dumped a ton of money into it. And a lot of people might get fooled by that at the beginning, but it sounds like this episode 3, whatever's going to happen. And I think that most people have seen the first 4 episodes now that are going to be reviewing it. I don't know if anybody's seen it all the way through. They've seen the first 4 episodes. So that's going to be the game changer right there. So, and hey, shout out to Alan. Alan, you've done more to hype this series than anything Disney's done at this point in time. You hyping up episode 3 of this show, you've done a better job of marketing it than Disney has. So good job for Alan on that.
That's the thing. Everyone now is going to tune in just to see how bad that episode is.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's like a train wreck and everybody's just going to be like, yeah, we got to see it. And you'll see viewership massively fall off, which I don't even know if viewership's going to be anything to celebrate in the first place with this. I mean, I think Drinker made a great point earlier with, it's not connected to anything that we know of Star Wars or we're connected to Star Wars or the general audience. And again, if they would have did a good job of the High Republic, maybe you would have something to connect people with that era, but everyone rejected the High Republic too. So there's nothing here that anyone cares about in any way, shape, or form.
You have to ask yourself, like, how long are they going to keep doing this? Like, how many times are we going to find ourselves in this same situation going, well, it's another shitty Star Wars TV show that cost like $300 million and nobody watched it and it's garbage. Like, it can't keep going on. Surely this must be reaching breaking point now.
That's the one advantage they have had with some of these shows that they've put out. Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, all the things that they film in the volume that actually does really help their budgets. That's why they can do those shows for $80 or $90 million, which is still a lot of fucking money. But when you're talking about comparing that to $200 million for The Acolyte, $250 million for Andor, when they start doing those practical sets and things like that, the cost balloons. So if they're going to continue down this road, Acolyte 1000% should have been a volume show. Like, this should not have been one of their big budget shows. It should have been one of their small budget shows. No doubt about it, especially with the people you have in charge. But I don't, Drinker, if you say you walked in and Kathleen Kennedy said, I'm about to die, I'm giving you the keys to Lucasfilm, Drinker, and she passes out and dies on the floor.
I know what he would say. He would say, go away
do?
now. He would say, go away now. So now go ahead.
Yeah. What would I do with Lucasfilm?
Star Wars. And this is not like, oh, I'd wipe the slate clean. But realistically, at this point, because we know they're not going to retcon the sequels, but like realistically, what would you do from now?
I would halt all active productions and I would fire fucking everyone within sight and just make my way through the building like the Grim Reaper with his scythe, just like getting rid of everyone because there's nothing good being achieved there at the moment. The best thing you can hope for is to start over, whether it means like a new trilogy of movies. In fact, I probably would halt all TV shows because they're a fucking waste of money. On streaming services, you're not making anything out of them. I would focus back on movies and take a good several years to develop a great idea for a new trilogy. Like, really take the time to develop a cohesive plan for a trilogy of movies going forwards that's going to move this series out of the absolute doldrums that they're stuck in right now. That would be the best thing I could think to try and fix this. And if you get a couple of good movies in a row, that might start to win people back. It might start to rebuild a bit of confidence in your brand, but it's going to be a slow process. And I think you'd have to be prepared for that fact. One good TV show or one good movie is not going to suddenly have people flocking back to Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, we have lost and a great answer there. We've lost the element of like anticipation anymore. Like I've said this about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If Marvel, regardless that I know a lot of people were really disappointed by Endgame. I enjoyed Endgame for what it was. I totally understand the criticisms, no doubt about that. But if we don't get anything Marvel after Endgame until say next year, think of the hype. Think of how much the anticipation goes from like, we're finally getting back to the MCU, but because they've just sent shit out constantly for the last several years, no one cares about the next Marvel project now. Anticipation and building that enthusiasm is an important part of this, and it always has been. I remember the lead up into the Dark Knight, you know, and the marketing campaign with the Dark Knight was just absolutely phenomenal with what they did. Then the Dark Knight. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if anything, like with Marvel particularly, like this enforced period of like no new content is doing them so many favors because they're not producing any more shit stuff that's damaging their brand even further.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you had like after the Dark Knight, you had the like a 3-year gap in between the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. And even though the Dark Knight Rises was more so disappointing than anything else, it was the lead up to it was awesome. The anticipation, the theorizing, the fan debates, all of that. We don't have that anymore. All we're debating on is how much are they going to ruin it now? That's all we're talking about. We don't even have debates or theories or anything like that, and it sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. Welcome to Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that for them, they just need to fucking jump ahead 100 years. Tell a story that's not involving any of these fucking characters. Get out of the prequel OT a little bit after the OT timeline. Stop using these characters that people care about, because now it's a warning sign. When they start to introduce a story about a character that you know or you care about or whatever, the assumption is going to be they're going to fucking destroy that character. They really just need to get out, do their own thing. It's a galaxy far, far away. It's a massive fucking galaxy. You can go 100 years in the future and tell whatever story you want to tell. But I think they just need to get away from the characters that matter to us.
Yeah.
They need to make us care about other characters before anyone starts to trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not going to do that.
Requires good writing, though, which is something they kind of lack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got... I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is the future of Star Wars. Well, one, it's definitely female, but this is the future of Star Wars right here. Like, Dave Filoni and Leslie Headland.
Listening to Ryan react to this, I listened to it like 3 times now. Ryan's so disgusted.
This is like the meeting of the great minds right here, truly.
These are the greatest minds at Lucasfilm.
She really looks like Brock Lesnar, dude. She really does. Like she could F5 Filoni in a heartbeat. It'd be over. Like,
I think my favorite description was like, she looks like someone tried to draw Gina Carano by memory.
I fucking hate this cowboy hat wearing bitch, dude. I fucking hate Dave Filoni so much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's breaking news right there.
But like, think about this. Like,
holy shit, that ratio.
I know. And I'm going to take a little credit to this, because when I did my stream on Sunday, I like told the audience, listen, I'm shocked, because quite frankly, I thought that this thing would be close to being ratioed. At that point, it was at 3.7 thousand likes to 3.5 thousand dislikes. It was close. So I made a comment, hey, let's see if we can make it happen, you know, whatever. Then I put out a video after that night. I wake up and it's ratioed to hell. And it had been out for 2 days at that point. So I'm going to take a little credit for this. But look at the fucking comments. People waiting for Star Wars to be good again. Give it up. It ain't going to be good again.
He's right.
Harvey Weinstein's former assistant was inspired to do a series about the Sith. Yes. Gina Carano fired for opinion tweets. Leslie Headland hired for working closely with Harvey Weinstein. How many women did she lead to Harvey the Hutt?
Holy shit.
She has to be a Minecraft character.
Look at Quartering. Look at Quartering here. Cool to see Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, who 100% for sure had no idea what he was up to, continue to succeed.
Her head does look like a Minecraft character's head. It really does.
I've heard Lego before. Yeah. But yeah, just... Everywhere you turn, they've been trying to do a lot of press for this thing, and whether it's people coming out and saying that fucking Anakin blew up the Death Star or whatever, all of it blows up in their face, and it's kind of funny to see.
This is one of my favorite accounts, Ryan Shatner's The Classics. So just the profile picture and everything.
He changed it to sings because I haven't been singing. I have been shattering, I guess. I'm gonna get loose. Need me a triple shot of that juice. Gonna get drunk. Don't you have no fear. I want 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, and 1 beer.
Sounds good to me.
It does.
Oh,
I'm ready for a drink already today because I had to get up early as fuck. I had a dentist appointment at 7 in the fucking morning. So I was up early as shit. So it's basically afternoon for me now.
Yeah, just go for it.
I should. Linko Kenobi for another 50. What's up, guys? Started doing a test to go live on Twitter. It was a success, but I may have a small issue on my YouTube stream channel. My bitrate was giving me an issue. Question: would restream help prevent my bitrate to be normal?
Well, with you still have to, with me anyway, using Restream, you still just have to get that through OBS. So you just need to set, it depends on your computer about what your bit rate's gonna be, your internet speed and all of that. So there's a lot of variables that goes into the bit rate, but you have to do that through OBS. I did a stream yesterday on D-Day Cobra, and I streamed to Twitter for the first time, and it went really well. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I'd like to get this show so we start streaming to Twitter and Kick along with, Rumble and YouTube. So, but yeah, Link, I would, that I would definitely just look into OBS. If you're I don't know if you're using Streamlabs or if you're using Streamlabs OBS. I'm sorry, Streamlabs OBS or OBS. I'm not sure which one you're using. They're both fairly similar anyway. I use regular OBS more than I do Streamlabs. Streamlabs actually pulls more of your resources from your computer than regular OBS does.
Cajun Corey for 2. See you in Dallas, Jeremy. Anyway, go away now.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. SBZ for 2. Gary with black sunglasses looks different.
Need to grow my beard out a bit.
Tobias, our resident furry, for $10. It's official. Silent Hill remake is DOA. The character remodel for Angela looks like a fucking watch. Not a 17-year-old. Can't imagine Mary or Maria looking good or the story working.
It's always the jaw, man. It's always the jawline.
It's like they're trying to emulate Leslie Headland in like all of these for some reason. Speaking of that, over on Rumble, East Coast Toasty Boy for $1 says about Leslie Headland, she looks like a trans woman always has. Thank you. Mountain Mutt, member for 11 months. Good morning, drinker. We at G&G apologize in advance for your co-host this morning. We tried to fix them, but they remain lame and gay.
Well, you're not chicks though, so that's something.
That's why he came on in June.
That's right.
Derek PG Beller for 199. Great panel today, and Ryan's here too. Thank you. GJJ member for 27 months. Thank you. Kick me in the Jimmy for $1. Drinker, I did want to talk about something as well, just in general, talking about the landscape of Hollywood. When you look at the box office for 2024 compared even to last year, which was a massively down year for Hollywood, it is embarrassingly bad right now. You're talking about like a 60, 70, 80% drop off on some weekends from what we saw last year, in which we saw some of the biggest flops we've ever seen in 2023. And Furiosa just came out. You liked the movie, but you had a couple maybe criticisms of why it was made, how it was made, maybe why some people weren't going to see it. And even if you give it a positive review, you still get blasted by some of these pronouns and bio freaks. You can't win, man. What's going on?
Can't win, yeah. That was some weird tweet that went viral. And it was literally like, I gave the movie a positive review and I liked it. And I lamented the fact that probably a lot of people weren't going to give it a chance because it didn't have Mad Max in it. That's it. Pretty much. But that makes me guilty. That makes me a misogynist, I guess. You gotta love the internet. Win. It's fantastic. Yeah,
it really is.
It would probably hurt if I actually gave a fuck what any of these people think, but yeah, it's fine otherwise.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can't win no matter what you do. They're always going to throw that because they are now, because you're the critical drinker. You've got 2 million subs and you're getting all of these views, and you're kind of the standard in the movies review world now. but because you're honest about everything, there's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. They're going to weaponize no matter what your opinion is. It's so wild. Because I mean, again, you know, you're talking about me and Ryan here. We're fucking assholes. We're toxic as fuck. Like, Drinker actually does take a positive approach every now and then, occasionally, but it's still not good enough. Still not good enough. By the way, Dan Bassick is in the chat. I don't know why, but didn't ask him to be here. But I'm glad I got the grift off of him last night with his wrench over on my channel. So fuck Dan Bassick. I don't know why he's here.
Yeah, it like the case of obviously Furiosa failing at the box office. It's going to be a massive flop. But I mean, the movie I saw recently that I liked the most was probably The Fall Guy, and that ended up being a massive flop as well.
How bad did that flop? Because I really enjoyed that movie too. We knew it was going to. How much is it?
That moved to streaming within a few weeks. It was insane. I don't think I've ever seen a movie drop out of the theatrical window so quickly.
Well, they put it out for video on demand after like 3 or 4 weeks. You know what I mean? So like, still had to pay for it if you wanted to get it. But it's yeah, that is like the new thing they're doing, which I think is a terrible approach. I think you got to leave it at least exclusively in theaters for 3 months, if not more.
Well, it's the whole incentive thing, right? I mean, I can see here the box office in total was 158 million, and the budget was 150 million. So that ain't turning a profit. That's a massive loss.
Yeah,
and yeah, the fact is now, like, there's less and less incentive to go to movie theaters. You can get things at home within a matter of weeks, so it's not time sensitive anymore. Most people have got fucking 70-inch TVs in their living rooms at this point, so you've got practically a cinema experience at home. You can pause it whenever you want. You don't have like, 200 other people in there like eating and talking and looking at their phones and doing whatever other annoying shit that they do or fighting each other. So you don't have that to contend with. So like, there's just not a whole lot of incentive to go to movie theaters anymore. And it used to be, well, when you had event movies that everyone was excited to see, that was enough to get people there. We don't even have them anymore. Fall Guy, perfectly good movie. It wasn't an event movie, though. It was never going to be. It was just going to be a fun film. Yeah. And in a different era of Hollywood, it would have done great. I'm sure it would have done at least 500 million worldwide. We don't live in that era anymore. I don't know what's going to get people in.
That's true. I mean, again, and I think just generally people have just lost a lot of trust in Hollywood. And so unless it's an event film like Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think will do very well, maybe not do $1 billion, maybe it will. I would. If I was betting, I would say it's not going to do $1 billion. If I was betting, I would push around 800 million probably, but it just really depends on the social media reactions and all of that. But I think it's going to do well. But that's the only movie that has the event feel from this whole year. I know Minions is going to do really well too, but that's not an event. Yeah, that's not an event film like, Barbie, Oppenheimer, or Deadpool, Wolverine. But that's a huge trusted brand for families to take their kids to go see, which is what Pixar and Disney used to be, which they aren't anymore. So it's true, though.
We're halfway through the year, and the only movie that has cracked $100 million of the domestic box office is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and that movie's probably going to lose money too.
Yeah, that even wasn't a big hit, was it? What about Dune 2?
Yeah.
Dune 2, Dune did. I'm talking about like the summer box office, not what happened earlier. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, you got a special guest that's joining us.
We do. We had somebody who, very special, said he wanted to come in and say hi. We hadn't seen him on the channel in a while, and he may or may not have something to say about some new shit that's coming out. Chris Gore is here.
Look who it is.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's up, sir?
Drinker catching strays for like giving a positive review. That's crazy. That's
I know,
weird, man. Weird.
Cannot win.
You know how it is. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, gentlemen. We're about to have our minds blown by Disney yet again with the Acolyte. I'll just say this: these first 2 episodes, they're pretty basic. They get you into the story and the world. Episode 3, I'm warning you now. It is going to completely lose everyone.
Holy shit.
It's I posted a mysterious tweet yesterday. I said, "May the thread be with you." they completely redefine what the Force is. And
Look
you're
at
gonna
Ryan.
see
Ryan's ready to explode. Like,
you're gonna
Ryan's-
see two mothers conceive twins. A bunch of witches that are and basically the Jedi turn into cops and child protective services. It's like they're the CPS of the galaxy. This went okay, episode 1 and 2, whatever. It's fine. 3 and 4, and get ready for pronouns in Star Wars.
Oh, no.
Hey man, I can handle like giant battle mechs having pronouns in Atlas, so yeah, I'm ready for this, man. I'm ready.
But
Chris,
episode 3, I can't. I mean, I'm literally considering having a funeral for Star Wars. Literally get everyone to dress up, wear dark glasses, give eulogies, play organ church music in the background, because after episode 3 of The Acolyte, it will cause a lot of discussion. Aside from the fact that the show is cheap looking for all the money they spent, it looks cheap. Like the exterior scenes in a forest shot on a soundstage, and it looks very, very obvious. So
production wise, it's not even good.
No. And I'll end with this because I got to go do the Film Threat stream. Alan, Ing, and I are going to talk about the first 4 episodes. So after you watch this, I hope you join me.
We will send you guys. We will send them over there.
It should be no surprise, even with Leslie Headland, the manly, square-jawed, Lego-looking Leslie Headland involved, it still lacks male energy. It lacks up male energy. And here's what I'll say. You know what? I don't want straight men. I don't think any straight man, white, whatever, should be in charge of a women's cosmetic brand or a women's fashion brand. And on that, by that same idea, I think the women that put together the show cannot make Star Wars for the audience that has loved it for years. It is just devoid of everything you used to love, not even shreds. And that 3rd episode, Ryan, you should maybe do a stream or you react to what you're about to hear. I mean, I was like taking screenshots and typing in some. It changes the world, and I'm just it's
how appropriate is it that the weekend basically after, or 2 weeks after, George Lucas goes up on stage at the Cannes Film Festival and says, you know what? Nobody understands Star Wars. Nobody fucking understands the Force. Disney Star Wars lost its way. We're about to have this, which sounds like it destroys the Force entirely, all while Dave, the fucking queer just claps his hands along as Leslie Headland destroys George Lucas's Star Wars. I love it.
Yeah, it'll change things forever. And I don't think anyone's going to like it. And, we'll get a lot of lesbians in space. That'll be great. Lesbian witches that conceive children. So get ready for episode 3. The first 2 tonight are going to be like, whatever. It's a police procedural with a murder and all of it. None of it makes sense. I can't wait for Mahler to see it. I'm going to watch all of you because I can't wait to see all your reactions. It's profoundly bad.
You are running the greatest marketing campaign in Disney Star Wars history right now for episode 3. And then after that, no one's going to watch it ever again.
It's going to be funny because like they'll see their viewing figures. It's like, it's going to be so for episode 1 and 2. And then it'll be a fucking huge jump for episode 3. Like, oh, wow, it's finally taken off. And then boom, nothing.
And then nothing. I can't believe that. I mean, I can't believe this. Again, Star Wars has been dead since... God, when did it officially kind of die for me? I think because I'd stopped watching, and then I watched Kenobi because the audience really wanted me to do a reaction, a review to that show. But I think I stopped watching after Mandalorian season 2, even though I did like Mandalorian season 2. I liked the finale. It was the Gina Carano stuff that really just drove me crazy about all that. And I was like, I just can't deal with Star Wars anymore. But it was already dead before then, to be honest. There's been glimmers here and there, but it's just so bad. It's so bad right now.
Why do I get Doctor Who vibes from all of this? It's like people who kind of know that they're on the way out with this franchise. They know that people aren't watching anymore. They know the fans are pissed off, and it's like created out of spite. It's like, we know that you don't like any of this stuff, so we are going to fucking dial it up to 11 with all of this just to piss you off even more.
Well, here's what it is. This is Leslie Headland's personal story. He wanted to tell a story about two sisters who are estranged, which is right out of her real life.
Yeah, I heard this interview. Video?
Like,
it's awesome that she's given the opportunity to have a $200 million therapy session in front of the whole world. So, yeah.
And she's effectively taken the corpse and the skin of Star Wars, like Buffalo Bill, and just like put it on to tell her story. It's grotesque. It's filled with narcissism. I mean, you've seen the clips of her talking and all the interviews.
Yeah.
And you know what? Ironically, the guy who said that Anakin line of blowing up the Death Star, he's actually kind of good in the show.
Charlie Barnett.
Yeah, he's actually kind of good. He's a sort of by the book Jedi, and underestimated. He's actually a good actor, but he's shitty at lore. Let's say that. So, but so was Harrison Ford.
Did you play the same game that I played with the trailer, Chris, of try and spot the white guy?
Oh yeah, no.
I came up short, man.
The white guys are all sidelined or weak.
Right. Okay. Fucking imagine my shock, man. Imagine my shock.
So,
and these are the things that, like, again, going back to The Force Awakens, the marketing for that. These are things that we don't care about watching it for diversity. As far as, like, I'm not watching movies in 2015 going, where's the white guy at? You can't ignore it at this point in time. Like, look what they've done. And now it's actually distracting how much they go out of their way to not cast a person based on their skin color. It's
I think for me,
racism.
It just becomes hilarious. I think at a certain point it crosses that boundary between reality and just absurdity. And now I'm just at the point where I'm like, yeah, sure. Just make every single character a black lesbian in your story. I know you want to. Just go all out. Fuck it. Who cares at this point?
You're going to get it. You're going to get it. There are two mothers. In the first episode, listen very carefully. He says, you lost your mothers and family in a fire. And I had to go, wait, did she say mothers? I rewound it. Mothers. That's episode 1. So, and then that pays off in episode 3. You see the story of these two young girls, and by the actress is terrible that plays the twins. It's just
Amanda Stenberg.
I got one. No, why do people think she's so great?
She's not really been in anything, but she's black, she's non-binary, and she's a radical feminist. So that's about all you need. I do have one question for you, because I know you got to go.
Yeah, I got it.
Should we expect to see a lot of Carrie-Anne Moss in The Acolyte?
You want a spoiler?
I'm just asking you, should we expect to see a lot of her after the first episode or two?
After the first episode, you would think you would not, because of her fate. And then she returns in a flashback episode.
There you go.
So
even the person, all the fucking marketing has been on the fucking Carrie-Anne Moss Trinity Matrix fight, and she dies in that fight, is my assumption. I'm not asking you to fucking reveal anything, because I know you can't, but like that's what I think. That's been my guess. And I think
a lot of the marketing was pretty much her and the guy from Squid Game, whose name no one can remember.
Yeah. He's not that bad. He's fine.
Does it sound like he is a native English speaker?
No.
Yeah, I don't. This is his first English speaking role ever, which is.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold that.
I can't imagine the challenges that would go along with something like that, but.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to him for struggling with the English, but I mean. Yeah, it feels like he was just cast because he was in popular thing, and that's all we got, really.
This is amazing how right we have been about Disney Star Wars. Like this maybe, and I think Gary repeated it yesterday. It's but we maybe have been too right about it. Like it sounds like it's even worse than even we have ever predicted. Maybe like holy shit, it's unbelievable. We've been saying it's feminist propaganda, it's social justice propaganda, it's people that are walking into Star Wars and they have no respect. They don't have any love. They don't have any reverence for the property, for what George created. They're just looking to hijack what George created to tell their own story within his universe to get the platform that it will give them. And it sounds like exactly what we're getting with the Acolyte.
You'll see in episode 3, it's kind of like, why am I spacing on the name of the episode? The name of the episode of Doctor Who that changed everything.
Oh, the Timeless Children.
This episode 3 is the Timeless Children for Star Wars.
Dude,
so
right.
Get ready where people, it's a breaking point. And just because of the agenda, it's going to lose normies for sure. I mean, they're probably already checked out. Hardcore fans will be like, what the hell are you doing to this franchise? You're allowing someone to completely reframe everything that George Lucas created. So, yeah, exactly. Gun-ho. Man, good to see you. Anyways, I look forward to seeing your reviews. I'll be on with Alan in about 10 minutes or so. But guys, I'm telling you, I feel like it's like the death of a friend, a beloved friend, a death of a franchise that we have all loved.
Yes.
There were, in the past, even through the prequels, there's a lot of looking back, like, hey, they were not as bad as I thought. So many great things about the prequels.
I love the prequels. I love the prequels.
Yeah. And it has its flaws. We could discuss it, but it doesn't matter. It's not even close to anything that was good in that series. Or in those films. So yeah.
Well, Chris, thanks for stopping by, man, and we'll send everybody over your way, brother. So
yeah, appreciate that.
It's good to talk to you, man. It's good to talk to you. It's nice to have you here instead of listening to Gary say mean things about you.
That's all good.
It's true.
All good.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Drinker, Ryan, Jeremy.
You too, Chris.
All right.
Take it
care.
easy, brother.
Later.
All right, man.
Bye.
Chris Gore, everybody. Film Threat. That's awesome to have him here.
It sounds like it's going to be such a colossal fuck up.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited in a long time. So
there was a comment in chat there that just went, how many times can they kill Star Wars at this point?
I know.
It's like a fucking cat. Got 9 lives. Yeah, Chris is like, it's like watching or saying goodbye to your friend or having your friend die or something. I'm like, maybe having your friend die if they've been in a coma for 5 years and they're also black, gay, and disabled. Like maybe that's like what it's like.
We're just turning off the life support now, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary in the chat, Frank the Stroke Gore. So there you go. Only friends can talk shit to friends like that. That's how it goes. Oh boy, here we go.
We got Fear the Tardo. Sorry we couldn't get this in before Frank left. Hi, Christopher Drinker. Yeah. Hi, Christopher Drinker and Frank Gore. Be both Tardo's favorite critics and favorite alcoholics. P.S. No bigify every other letter like Tardo did yesterday. Uncle Rai say, if do that, then Santa come into bedroom naked and beat Tardo up. Lock it in. Yay. Thanks, Tardo.
God, we have a retarded chat, and I love every one of them.
Yeah, we do. Lance for 5. Hey, Ryan, you think Acolyte's bad enough to get the band back together for a Stargrove special review? We'll see by the end of it. I think that's what the plan is. I think we're supposed to do it at the end of the Acolyte. We may do a reunion show.
By the way, I use retarded like I use gay or the F word that I can't say on stream. But like somebody got mad at me. He said, I've been watching Geeks Gamers for a long time, but I called him retarded for something he said like on Twitter. And he goes, I can't believe you called me retarded. I'm like, you clearly haven't been watching G&G for a long time then. Because we call each other that every stream. Because it's just what we do.
Everyone's entitled to be a little bit retarded once in a while. It's fine.
Everybody.
I feel like I caught some heat one time for calling some people retarded. if memory serves. Holy shit. It was a long time ago. Look where we are now. Kathleen Kennedy's still there. Moose for $5. Just really, really tired of forced color revolution propaganda, sex degeneracy, pushing 0.05% of the population on the other 99.5%. Goodbye, Disney. Thank you, Moose. The Palidan for $5. Got a pic of Jeremy, Drinker, and me in Orlando where Jeremy's face makes him look drunker than Drinker. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I was
pretty good.
I was exhausted, dude. I get exhausted on those meetups when G&G's handling them because I get so stressed out. I probably do look drunker than all of you guys.
It was a busy evening, to be fair. There was a lot of people there.
There was a lot going on. I don't remember much, but I remember there was a lot going on. Andy Masterson for $2. My Acolyte action figures debut tonight. Those will be good.
Yes.
CJ for $10. If they want a female-centric story, they could have done a Courtship of Princess Leia prequel with the Singing Mountain Clan versus Night Sisters and introduced Tanel Dejo. I agree. They could have done a lot if they'd adapted what they had. They decided to throw it away in favor of activists. Graph Web for $2. For fuck's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Thank you, Graph Web. Burb Shid for $2. Snow Black and the 7 Ewoks starring Lizzo as Leia. Go for it at this point. Ron Sappington, member for 6 months. Stopped watching Star Wars after my wife and I left in the middle of The Last Jedi. When I started reading this, I thought you were going to say something about your wife leaving you.
I know. That's what it sounds like.
It's like I took her to watch Last Jedi and then she divorced me.
Star Wars love story. Moose for $5. Imagine giving the enemy 4 years to push as much degenerate behavior as possible. Welcome Star Wars The Acolyte. Nut Bunny for $14. Martial arts and Acolyte. Black girl magic belt. Arnold Squash and N-word for $2.99. Drinker got 2 balls as big as RuPaul's. Pause.
Okay. If you say so, buddy.
The Penetrator, Jeremy's bike seat. Thank you. I've been waiting for that to pop up.
Oh, what is this? Is this a meme that I'm not aware of? Like, I understand the reference, but like it's.
So what happened was I basically, to explain why you weren't there on the stream yesterday, I said you were at a gay pride parade. And Gary took it to the next level. He's like, he's shirtless. He's like, got things in his hands. He's waving around. He's on a unicycle. I said, no, he's not on a unicycle. He's on a bicycle with no seat, is what I said. That's how I thought you were celebrating Pride Month. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Barbecue Pits for $5. Critical Drinker. What up, homie? My N-word Ryan, the realest gangsta on the internet. Oh, hi, Jeremy. We got a kind of wild chat here.
Yeah, we do.
Jake the Movie Geek for $5. Accepted Star Wars has been dead for years. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy Star Wars. I've gone back to reading Legends books. Do it. I've been reading or re-listening to a lot of shit as well. Holds up incredibly well.
Hey, Ryan, quick question. This came up on Cobra Cast. What's the best opening for a Star Wars movie?
Revenge of the Sith.
That's what I think. Now, I did a poll. A New Hope beat Revenge of the Sith, 52-48, but so it's close. Obviously, it's a great opening. Drinker, what's your favorite opening to a Star Wars movie?
It's probably going to be A New Hope. Like, when you look about the visual impact, particularly back then, of that fucking Star Destroyer just coming in, and it just is endless. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
absolutely.
Beat that.
Yeah, I think if you factor in like what it meant for the scope of cinema and like what it meant back in 1977 when that premiered and shit, like it's so impressive and immediately sets the stage for what the Empire is and the odds, right? The Rebellion, this little tiny Corvette that's going through space, and the Empire, this massive Star Destroyer that's overwhelming it. But like to me, as somebody who grew up with the prequels and was so hyped going into Revenge of the Sith, to hear the music building, to see Anakin and Obi-Wan in their Jedi Starfighters going, and then to make the turn and see the entire battle over Coruscant. It's like, holy fuck, we're in for a wild ride. Yeah. So I'll forever remember that in the theater. 100%. CJ Wen, Jeremy hates community notes for disrupting the convo, but as soon as he sees a big super chat, he disrupts the convo. What a character this guy is. My cock smell for 2. Jeremy, what's your thoughts on AC/DC?
I like AC/DC. Yeah, we were talking music the other night on there's a live performance from AC/DC on YouTube. I don't remember what concert it is, but the crowd is so fucking into it. It's massive. I don't know. It's 100,000 people.
Nice.
Oh,
Modern
my God.
Hollywood was an AC/DC song. It'd be Back in Black.
I wonder how much of a boost they got just from the Iron Man movies because Tony's such a fucking AC/DC fan.
Yeah, they probably got a huge bump, actually. Probably like a lot of people that might be like younger generation that didn't know of AC/DC.
Yeah, it's not like they were struggling before.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, absolutely.
Get a little bump on that Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Mo Zamboni, hey, Drinker, it's your doppelganger. Pleasure meeting you at Orlando. I'm not going to lie. Trolling people throughout the day was fun, too.
It's always fun. Pleasure meeting you.
Force Scissors would be canon in Star Wars Outlaw. Probably going to happen. We still got that disaster coming. Philemon X for $5. Jeremy, pleasure meeting you at Universal last month. My dad, brother, and I appreciate what you guys do. See you at MegaCon next time.
No, that was awesome, man. Yeah, we met. It was me and Suresh were there, and funny, dude, because like it was him, his brother, and his dad, and they were introducing their dad, and the first thing they say was like, the dad was like, the guy that with Ryan every day, the guy that was, because he was like talking about how much you know about sports and how you cover sports. They were fans of yours too. That where's Ryan? I was like, he's not here today. So yeah, it was good. It's good stuff.
Let's see here. Where the fuck are we? Got a lot of super chats. And obviously we've been going an hour, Drinker. I know if you need to leave at any time, no worries. We appreciate you being on here.
Cool, man. Yeah, I could probably stick around for another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect. Graham Parker for 10. What are the betting odds we get a Space Witch scissoring scene? Very, very good.
Do it.
Good. Operation Outstanding in Field for 5. G&G Daily Bar. Welcome, Drinker. Took your advice at Atlanta Comic-Con and collected physical media. Started a streaming show related to the journey.
Nice. I approve. Well done, man.
Arnold Squash and N-word for $2.99. Leslie's Colossal fucking Squarehead blows the budget. Steiner Math, 16 months. Acolyte needs to go all out. We need an intimacy coordinator for Force Scissoring and lightsaber massage wounds. Snark Bob Iger. Bobby here. The downfall of Disney and Star Wars won't be due to natural causes. It'll be due to self-destruction. Case in point, Star Wars. I'm taking this ship down with me on the way out.
Nice one, Bobby.
Thanks, Snark Bob Iger. Pokey, I think that's Gumby's friend, for $5. Why do you think studios always create prequels instead of jumping ahead in time, a la Star Trek: The Next Generation? Can't believe I figured that one out. You would think it would give them more creative freedom.
It allows them to tie into existing events and say, well, basically everything that happened, which was cool in the past, is actually due to these new characters which we created, a la Star Trek Discovery. So yeah, it's just a way of controlling the past, I suppose.
1000%. It's about changing everything. Like again, go back to, I've said this 1,000 times. The failure of the Solo movie was such a blessing, which all reality it wasn't. I mean, because they still fucked everything up. But the whole point was they wanted to give you their version of Han Solo, and they wanted that to be the Han Solo that you thought of, not Harrison Ford. They wanted Alden Ehrenreich's Han Solo to be the Han Solo that was the definitive Han Solo that the fans connected to. And that failed miserably. But that's what they want to do.
Yeah, and it also allows you to preemptively work in nostalgia baiting as well. So like with Furiosa, for example, hey, you want to know how Furiosa ended up with her mechanical robot arm? Well, this movie answers it for you. Yeah, that's not a question that we needed answered, but thanks anyway.
Yeah,
it's just all stuff like that, how everything came to be. We can't have mystique anymore. We can't have questions. We have to answer all of it.
Which is, that's why I always talk about, how much like the Dark Knight and how the Joker and how we don't know we don't know his origin, because he says all these different things. If Disney takes over, oh man, we're going to find out how he was misgendered when he was a kid and how he went, you know what I mean? Like answering all these questions, and that would destroy the aura of Heath Ledger's Joker. If they start telling well, here's how he really got those scars. It's, oh my God.
It'll be a powerful woman as well that tells him to put on the clown makeup.
Exactly.
Let's see. Burb shit for 2. Disney should turn holiday special into a trilogy.
Give it time, they will.
Yeah, Henry back to play for 5. As fans, Are we playing in the radical woke's agenda? They can't kill a beloved franchise without its fan base. Sadly, they're succeeding. Arnold Squash and N-word for $2.99. Need me a good old Leslie head job right about now. Thank you.
That picture is so wild, dude.
Eric Guidewall for 20. I'm waiting for line that this show will save lives. Representation always saves lives. Some random guy for 5. Why is Leslie's jawline so damn square? May as well use her head for geometry. Aided Clock for 10. That Slurpo destroyed the Death Star. Thanks. Shout out Slurpo. The Wolf from Heart, hashtag save Dave Filoni's dog. It's too late for that dog. Only way it can be saved is you put it out of its misery. Bob the Lobster for 10. It seems Acolyte is neither diverse nor inclusive as it doesn't have any white straight men in it. What have they used? What they have used is their equity to push a lesbian agenda. Hail Drinker.
Thanks. Cheers.
Medicine Gamer for 10. What's the next big game? The next game being tackled by the Critical Gamer.
Oh, it's going to have to be Stellar Blade. I have to review that. Yeah, I did my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth review, which took me ages. And yeah, it's time to do Stellar Blade next.
There you go.
Nice. Kay Schwabel for 2. Susan, can you reset the PW on my other account?
Susan's no longer in charge.
She's not even in charge anymore.
I don't remember who it is now. I remember who, but it's not Susan. Susan is no longer there.
Taker for $5. If Drinker was brought in to restructure a struggling company, thousands of employees would receive the same short 3-word email.
And it would be more than they deserve.
That's right.
Sir Hat for 2. I love Fall Guy. More people need to go see it.
It was good.
I liked
fun movie.
Reminder, Jodie Turner-Smith, lesbian force witch, played Black Anne Boleyn. Also, a trans bread tuber, Philosophy Tube, has a role in The Acolyte. Yes, you do have trans representation in The Acolyte. They were very proud to announce that. Alex Belfour for 10. Hey, Drinker, my sci-fi action graphic novel, The Final Hunt, close to having volumes 1 and 2 done. My artist is Kenneth Lowe, who you used for your Rambo comic. We'd love to get you some copies.
Yeah, I like his art style. It's a kind of watercolor style that you used to get in like a lot of those retro comics, certainly UK back in like the 60s and 70s. So it's good stuff. Yeah. Send it through and I can take a look.
Hell yeah. Aaliyah Wells for 5. We have a projector and a huge screen. Private movie theater. Great to watch movies. Watch Dune 2 at home. I know, sacrilege. I don't know if, like, obviously it's fucking awesome. You got a projector and a good sound system. I don't know if anything can beat watching Dune 2 in a theater, like a proper fucking IMAX theater or whatever. It was.
I think you're not going to quite equal that, but is it worth all that extra time and money that you have to take out to go see it?
Yeah,
possibly not.
Yeah, man, Dune. I still like Dune 1. I've only seen Dune Part 2 once, so I need to see it a second time. But like, I still think I liked 1 more than 2. They're both excellent. They're both excellent, and 2 complement. Like I said, this about 1. 1 needed 2 to be good in order for it to, not feel like a ripoff. We needed that carryover, and luckily 2 did carry over. But I still think 1. I liked 1 more than 2 at this point, but I need to see it a second time.
Yeah, I really just see them as 2 halves of a whole. Really,
yeah, it's
like
one movie.
Just, just one complete story. So it's hard to separate them out that way for me.
Let's see. VHS capture becomes channel member. Thank you. Lord Bonth for 10. Going to a theater has gone from a common occurrence to a premium experience, like eating out in a nice restaurant or a normal one during the Biden administration. You have to have a real reason to go.
Yeah.
100%.
It might end up becoming like people go to stage productions and stuff. It becomes a real rarity. It could end up being like that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we've already shifted from having, these theaters that sit like 300, 350 people crammed next to each other, your elbows are touching, to now that same room holds like 100 or 125 big ass seats. And they charge 3 times as much for it. Like we've gone through that phase over the past decade. So we're kind of already there, like in a way. Dave Chandler, who sent in that $50 early and made fun of his stupid purple D. Congratulations, Ryan. You shamed me into doing a profile pic. It's lame, but I love Hawks, and I took it myself. Dave, I appreciate the super chat, and I'm glad you saw the light.
You guys, don't let him do this to you. Hayden Wayne's still out there standing strong, okay?
It would be too embarrassing if he folded now. Like, I get that.
my principle now, isn't it?
He even made his Twitter profile picture the fucking orange H.
Yeah, but like everybody else, they hear me speak, they hear reason, they're like, God, I need to listen to this guy. It's just how it works.
We're fucked if that's the case.
Reese's Deuces for 2. It was a stroke of luck to have Frank here.
See what you did there.
Matthew Hammond for 5. Stroke Gore, the misogynistic drinker, in one stream. How lucky are we today? Been a good show. Joker's Disciple for 5. RE CBR leaks drop him. Don't know about you, drinker, but I have a half chub. Worried how they're going to handle the cross-dress freak in Claire's dump trunk.
Yeah, they are never going to replicate that. No fucking way. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in a Code Veronica remake because if anything, that game definitely needs one. It is really fucking rough when you play it these days. So yeah, be interested to see that get a revamp.
It is like, it's tough because I loved the Resident Evil games back in the day, man. If you go back and play the originals, like they aged really badly. It's the controls. But I
love tank controls, and I will die on that hill.
No, I do too. I'm just saying, like, if you're a new person coming into it, like, nobody's gonna play those games and enjoy them. They'll be like, "What the fuck is this? You guys are retarded." And like, you guys don't get it. The OG Resident Evils, man, especially the first one for me in that mansion.
Yeah.
Like the first time the dog jumped through the window, or when you were turned into that hallway and there's a fucking spider. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was good stuff, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Zebra Cocky for 5. Leslie Headland is helping trans women by eliminating the ability to tell between a trans woman and a real woman based on looks. Cider Hype for 2. Lesba babies in Star Wars. Good to see a BA Chris. Oh, there you go. Dave Chandler, Chris, good to see you. We prayed for you. Sorry I didn't see all these when Chris was on. He could only be here for a little bit. Rage Grip for Aussie 2. Kung Fu Panda, $540 million on an $850 million budget. I mean, Garfield's the same way. Like, Garfield's a $60 million budget, so it doesn't need a lot to break even, as opposed to something like Furiosa.
And that's crazy. You got all these Pixar movies coming out that's got these insane budgets. And then you've just got, movies like Mario, for instance, would have like $100 million budget.
All the Illumination stuff, whether it's Despicable Me, Minions, Mario, shit like that, Migration, I think was one too. They're all like between $80 and $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they make a fuck ton of money. Arnold Squash and N-word for 2. Dave, the homosexual, and Leslie head job. Fuck that shit. Thank you. Ancient Mariner for 20. Leslie Edlin looks like Chet at the end of Weird Science after he was transformed. Thank you. Albert Not a Wretch for 10. Gender has no excuse for being bad at your job and disrespecting the fan base. DC Fontana of Star Trek fame and Ann C. Crispin, who wrote the Han Solo trilogy, prove this. Gender is irrelevant to the job. Yeah, 100%. Lance for 5. Can't wait to see the POC Jedi Massacre. Yeah, what happened to all of them? That's the question. Brandon Keith, remember, for a month, I agree with Drinker, where it seems like they're just doing it on purpose at this point. If you don't like it, then we'll just do it to piss you off.
Yep.
The interesting thing about that is, like, the development on this started, well, it was pitched to Kathleen Kennedy in 2018. And the development didn't officially start or whatever till 2020. This thing's been in the works for a long-ass time.
Not as long as Blade, but pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not quite as long as Blade. At least they shot something to this. Fluffy Panda for Disney treating Star Wars like Caitlin Clark. Shout out to the Sports Wars fans. Sparta Chris for 5. May I recommend a moment of silence for Star Wars? Farewell to a beloved world and stories that made our worlds.
No one's ever truly gone.
Yeah. If we've learned one thing from Disney Star Wars. Razzle Fraz for 20. Loved your impromptu Stranger Things discussion yesterday. One of the few shows that was able to turn things around. Do you think it was intentional, or that they just got lucky? I don't think those middle 2 seasons were as bad as everyone was saying. I just think season 1 is so fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. No, I like season 2. I don't like season 3 at all.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 3 better than 2.
But I like 4. So 4 is the second best season. I'd have to watch it again, though. I might like, and I don't know, maybe I would like season 2 less this time around, but I really enjoyed season 2 the first time around, except for that one episode, that one weird episode
Was that where 11 just goes off by herself and like it's a completely like standalone story or something?
That's the one.
That's into with the fucking I don't know, the brown girl.
Yeah. Well, the van and it's just a weird. The whole thing was
and
weird.
It never pops up again.
Never.
Yeah. 2 was a bit of a weak follow-up to 1. Like 1 was fucking fantastic. 3 was just garbage, absolute farce. And then 4 really pulled it back. I was genuinely surprised by how good that was.
I think everybody was surprised because I personally was checked out after 3 and I was like, there's no way. And then 4 really pulled it back in, which is very rare to see something like that. When something falls from the greatness of season 1 to where 3, which, say what you want about it, but when it falls that far and then they pull it back immediately, that's very rare.
We'll see. Like, I'm really looking forward to season 5. I hope they just fucking kill off Will. I'm sick and tired of him. Like, all he does is cry about being fucking gay. Like, holy shit. Get over it. Stop being a bitch. At least that's or find somebody else who's not your best friend to fall in love with. Anyway.
Yeah, it feels like after season 1, he had no particular purpose in the story, and they're just keeping him in a holding pattern. And I'm done with him.
Kind of. Like 2, obviously in 2, he was like infected, right? He had the shit in him, he had the dust in him. But
3, 2. Yeah, I meant 2.
And then 3 and 4, it's just been he's just kind of been around, doing things. But all right, what the fuck? We got another $50 from Kevin. Back to the letter gang, and it is just Star Wars, not New Hope. That is nonsense. I think you got to specify now. When it came out, it was Star Wars, but now we got a lot of different Star Wars. So
yeah.
But thank you.
Is he going back to the letter though? Is that what he's saying? Hell yeah.
I mean, you better. I'm not going to read your shit anymore.
Reject Ryan's bullshit.
Dave Filoni's dog for $50. Hi, drinker. As a lifelong, barely functional alcoholic, I have a question for you. Can you recommend a drink for someone who's been repeatedly violated by a gay, talentless hack Star Wars writer? Yes. Let me die.
Probably a Negroni because it's hard and bitter, like you'll end up being after that experience. So yeah.
God, that's old Dave Filoni's dog has seen some shit. He's seen some shit. God, what the fuck? Do you need to bounce, drinker? I know you only had 10 or 15, so
yeah, I'll probably need to head off. But thank you guys for having me on. It's been great fun.
No, we appreciate it, man. And I'll get with you. I'll hop back on open bar and whenever you need somebody to talk bad about Disney Star Wars in the next few weeks.
Well, I tell you what, man, because we'll be doing open bar episode 100, like our special. So if you could maybe come on for that, that'd be great.
When is that going to be?
So that'll be in a few weeks. So the next one is going to be Thursday. So it'll be the 20th, I think.
Okay.
Is it crazy that you've been doing it for 2 years already? Like,
it doesn't feel like it, man. It's
nuts.
Been weird. But, it's been great, man. It's been a great ride.
What's your fun fact going to be for that one?
It's going to have to be from the year 2000. So I don't know. I'll have to research it now.
And nothing happened in the year 2000. Maybe you can just play the Conan O'Brien, the in the year 2000 clip. I can't do that high pitched voice. Maybe Ryan can do that one. But man, but it was good to have you on. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can count me in for episode 100 of Open Bar.
Awesome. Sounds good, guys.
And when is your critical gamer when you're going to cover Stellar Blade? What are you thinking?
That's probably going to be later in the week, I would think, because I want to cover the Acolyte, funnily enough.
Yeah. I heard that. Well, man, we appreciate it, man. So of course, we're trying to help Drinker out. So if you guys can subscribe to his channel, we're trying to boost smaller creators here on this channel. So if you guys can go subscribe to Critical Drinker, we'd appreciate it. So
thank you.
Take it easy, brother.
Thanks,
man.
All
right, later, guys.
All right, man. There we go. Critical Drinker.
There we go.
Good to have him here, man.
43 fucking super chats to get through. God damn it. Let's see. Where the fuck did I leave off at? Apollo Monopoly with a heart. Thank you, Clint Eastwood in space. Cowboy for 5. Star Wars is like Kenny from South Park. It just dies every episode, every movie. JT for 20. Under-recognized problem with reliance on CGI SFX is that when production ends, no leftover props to mitigate cost on sequels. Puppets look cooler in frame, better to act against, and can be reused in next film. Yeah, I agree with that, especially if you're planning on doing something that's multiple seasons in the same like place, like House of the Dragon. All the sets they built for that makes a lot of sense because they're gonna go a couple seasons. They can reuse all of that shit from the different places, the different castles.
Yeah.
Tobias for 5. Who has a better mustache? Scatman John, R.I.P. or Sam Elliott? I feel like Sam's more iconic, but John's is so fitting.
Sam Elliott has an iconic mustache for sure. Well, that cop that the cop in think in California that was talking about politics the other day, he had a pretty badass mustache.
Spider Unlimited for 10. Forget the term. This is the final nail in the coffin. Now it's more like post-cremation, spreading the ashes out for kitty litter for Star Wars. Beefy 5-layer husbando for 2. Harvey Weinstein assistant Leslie Headlund loves G&G. Maybe she does. Matthew Courier for 5. Jeremy, you've never had alcohol. What about having a beer with Ryan? Why would he need to?
Yeah.
He's gone this long.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure for 10. My Hollywood Spies confirmed Critical Drinker was inside Kathleen Kennedy's office last week wearing a MAGA hat, telling her to pack it up. It's his office now. The Penetrator. By the way, the video memes in Discord, Jeremy.
Oh, I don't know if I want to see that one.
Anak Maman for 5. Lesbians who don't break up after a week. I know Star Wars is both sci-fi and fantasy, but come on. I can only suspend my disbelief so much. Gray Man for 2. The Star Destroyer in Spaceballs is better. That's funny. Buster Nut Smash for 5. At least if your friend dies, a finality to it. You don't have to keep digging him up and ending it again. Q-Tard for 2. Jeremy, AC/DC, River Plate in Argentina, probably.
Yeah, there's it's a Thunderstruck performance that's just fucking insane. The audience participation is just unbelievable. That might be it.
Fluffy Panda for 5. Got to see AC/DC in San Francisco at AT&T Park. Perfect venue for a rock concert. Angus did a 15-minute solo during Let There Be Rock, running all over the stage.
Hell yeah.
Fictitious Days Sarah, get ready for Force Orgasms in Future of Star Wars. Colin Warmbrought for 5. I never really got into Star Wars, let alone Disney Star Wars, but which Disney Star Wars film would you say is the least bad? Rogue One is the least
Rogue
bad.
One at this point. I don't think there's any denying that. I mean, once upon a time, I was a fan of Force Awakens, but time has proven that was a dog shit movie too.
Spartacus for 10. With the intro of these Force twins, makes me think how Disney fans trying to redefine the prophecy of the chosen one, a child born from the Force with no father. Yeah, 100%. Albert Not a Retro for 5. Disney buys Marvel, Disney buys Star Wars. How bass-ackward does your brain need to be to screw up paint-by-number art project? Dragon Dan, remember for 11 months. Still catching up as I type this. I wonder if Acolyte's goal is to make the sequel trilogy likable. Just like with prequels, sequels said prequels was mostly liked by the audience. I don't think that's the goal. No. Stasis Geek for 20 pounds. Star Wars is such a bad place right now. Even Star Wars Theory turned up 12 hours early to his own live stream for the Acolyte. Yeah, I think he thought it was coming out at a different time. Yeah. Sundowners Club. So Asha and the Acolyte doesn't have a father, was conceived by the Force. I guess Anakin wasn't special after all. What a dumpster fire Lucasfilm is at this point. It's what it fucking sounds like, man. That's what it sounds like. The Penetrator for 2. Sorry, Doom Part 2, the end went woke. I didn't like the final ending for Zendaya's character, but other than that, a lot of it is like the book. Kevin for 5. I'll be doing a West Wing marathon during the premiere. Shout out to all the West Wing fans. Is that Kevin?
I don't know.
That's a different Kevin.
I think so.
Seed Fan for 5. I disagree. As it is, Dune is like Assassin's Creed movie, 2 parts of a movie, and I want a third. Well, the third is the finality to it. You need the third one. Road Warrior for 79 or 0.79 pounds. Thank you. $20, Jack Kennedy. I'm concerned the only way Star Wars could be good again is in a different studio buys Star Wars, reboots the whole thing. Maybe making it resemble more like Lucas's Star Wars, but I digress. I think that's what most people probably feel too. Luis Cuevas for 20. Hail Dryker. I think you mean drinker. I liked your Attack in Titan review. I would like to recommend Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like Attack on Titan, it's a completed story with a proper ending. Regulators, shout out. The Angry Movie Critic for 2. I saw the screening. There's a Fat Jedi in episode 2. Retro Piro for 5. I was there back in 2006 when one of the most popular YouTubers around was Irate Gamer. Vise for 10. Already breaking up fights in my shop parking lot. Let's go. Hey, it's a good morning. Jesus Davila for 199. Sends a super sticker. Thank you, buddy. Sir Hat for 2. What's up with all the Dog Filoni stuff? I made a joke a long time ago because Dave Filoni is obsessed with wolves. it's like a weird fucking fetish that he has. He has to put wolves in fucking everything. So I made a joke about him fucking wolves and fucking dogs, and he just kind of took off. Here we are 4 years later. Tobias Nexus for 10 streamed Hunt last night, had a peak of 2 viewers. One was me, keeping an eye on things to make sure it was working, but I managed to get the 5 ace hand achievement, 5 level 50 hunters active at once. Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. Let's see. Black Angus reviews for 5. Have you seen the Yaira panel where she possibly hits a guy for killing on her? It's worse than Captain Marvel. Where's your anti-woke content? I haven't got my copy of Yaira yet, so I can't tell you about that, but mine should be in the mail soon.
I need to make a video in general. I haven't made a fucking video on this channel in 2 weeks.
Yeah, what shockingly, I've never done a comic book review in history. I know it's strange. Somehow some people want it when one specific thing comes out, but nothing else. Weird how that works, isn't it?
SJW nonsense right there.
So crazy. Over on Rumble, Bronsonite for $1. Same commie Marxist leftist shithead revisionism tactics. They go back in time and insert their garbage into things you love to pretend it was always there. Hey, well, thank you very much. And we're all caught up, Jeremy.
We're all caught up, baby. Now, I've already got the raid set up, so we're gonna send you over to Film Threat. You know, these guys are hyping up Disney Star Wars better than Disney ever has. I am so excited. I cannot wait. And I haven't said this about fucking Star Wars in a long time. And well, maybe I'm being a little sarcastic there, but I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to send you over there. It was great having Drinker on, great having Chris Gore on. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of the week goes. I like to keep you guys thinking and going, who's going to be on? Who's going to be on? Sometimes it's a B team. Sometimes you get Drinker and Gary. We'll see what happens. All right, we got one more that came in. Let's
Seed Fan for Aussie 2. You misread it. It was in Want of a Third. I don't even remember what you're talking about.
All good.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. 2 parts of the movie in Want of a Third.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, that's kind of how the story, that's how the story ends, and you need Dune Messiah to get everything else. So I think it's why it's hard to adapt Dune. Clint Holler for 10. Pretty cheap how they didn't include commentary on the Disney Gallery documentaries on the Mandalorian Blu-ray and 4K releases. That is kind of bullshit. But hey, this is Disney.
Well, guys, if you want more information on the Acolyte, you can go over to Film Threat. This will raid them over there. So just show them some love. Let's see some 199s over there. Hail Chris Gore, Film Threat. And thank you to Drinker for being here. We'll see you for Tuesday night's main event tonight. We'll have a lot to talk about on that show as well. So we really appreciate it. Have a great night. And we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Say bye, Ryan.
Bye.